Hi, welcome back to Movie Review Mom. And if this is your very first time visiting my channel, yay, you found me. I'm so glad. My goal is to give you the scoop on filmmaking quality and content so that you can make the best decision for you and your family as to whether or not you want to watch a particular movie. Please join my Facebook group called Movie Review Mom, where we have contests and have great conversations about all kinds of movies. And you can also follow me on Instagram where I post all kinds of stuff as well. Thank you for subscribing. And by the way, click on that little bell down below and it'll notify you every time I upload a new movie review or a trailer reaction, which is almost every single day. All right, so today the movie I'm reviewing is called Queen Bees. This senior citizen comedy is now available in select theaters and on Amazon Prime. And if you don't have an Amazon Prime membership, click down below. I've got a coupon for you for a free 30-day trial where you can watch this movie as well as tons of other movies. Queen Bees is rated PG-13. It's an hour and 40 minutes, and I'll give you my movie review mom grade at the end of my review. So first, in a nutshell, the story is about a 90-year-old woman after reluctantly agreeing to move into a senior home. She encounters a clique of mean-spirited senior women and an unexpected amorous widower. Some people are describing this movie as a mix between Mean Girls and The Golden Girls, but that's not entirely accurate. The comedy was directed by Michael Lembeck, who also brought us some sugary sweet, pun intended, comedies like The Santa Claus 2, and even Tooth Fairy, and a bunch of TV shows. I was really curious about this movie because I recently moved my own mother into a memory care facility, which is just heartbreaking, but I don't want to get all into that. But the people and the facility portrayed in this movie are nothing like where my mother is, sadly, mostly because everyone at my mother's place is way too old and feeble to really get into the kind of humorous trouble that they get into in this film. So I thought that was interesting. The dramedy is definitely targeted to baby boomers and beyond, like way beyond, but I still got a kick out of it myself. It's great to have some movies that appeal to older audiences for sure. There were plenty of things that I liked about the movie. First of all, it was really great to see Ellen Burstyn. I hadn't seen her in anything in a long time. In real life, she's 88 years old, even though in the movie she says she's 90. And what a smile and twinkle she still has. I thought she did a fantastic job. Fun fact, 3 of the leading ladies play a character whose name is very close to her own. For example, Ellen Burstyn plays Helen, Ann-Margret plays Margot, and Jane Curtin plays Janet. It didn't seem possible to me that SNL star Jane Curtin would even be old enough to be in a retirement home. So I had to actually look up her age. She's only 73 years old. The older I get, the younger that sounds to me. The movie opens with delightful, chipper music, which pretty much continues throughout the entire movie. The vintage cast also includes Loretta Devine, Christopher Lloyd, James Caan, believe it or not, and French Stewart, although he isn't one of the older people. He just works at the facility. You get to learn about some Filipino food from the comical massage therapist played by Alec Mapa. And there are some very touching moments that'll definitely get you teary-eyed, I thought. I laughed at all of the walkers that lined the church pews in one of the scenes, and I kind of felt like they should have really played that up more in the film. Instead, all of the seniors are extremely mobile in this movie. And again, when I compare it to where my mother is, they're almost all in wheelchairs or using a cane or something. But in this movie, they're pretty spry. The grandson in the movie, played by Matthew Barnes, is the perfect grandson any grandmother would ever wish for. And I felt really bad in contrast for Elizabeth Mitchell, who had to play such a cranky downer of a daughter. I've always thought she was so pretty and usually has such a gentle demeanor in the roles that she plays. There's a little twist in the story, and I love twists, but I don't want to spoil it for you, so I'm not going to say anymore. There's some cute humor, but there's also some crude humor. I'll get to that in just a minute. Keep watching during the rolling credits for some very sweet pictures of older couples who married later in life. Now, there were some things that I didn't quite like or thought could have been handled better. First of all, if you're over 50 years old, you'll remember these stars back in their heyday, which makes it more fun to watch them in this movie. Younger viewers might be mildly entertained without knowing the actors, but this film will definitely appeal to a more mature audience. The movie itself is super cheesy, but again, there's nothing wrong with cheesy, especially if you're older and you're getting tired of some of the other stuff that's out there in the world right now. It's a little heartbreaking to see some of our longtime favorites get old. I mean, truly, we want them to just be the way we knew them before forever. The pacing changes a lot throughout the film, and that makes the film kind of feel a little bit choppy. There's an edginess at the very beginning of the movie with some sarcastic characters that kind of add some spicy fun. And not to give you a big spoiler, but the syrup gets poured all over the script and things are wrapped up neatly in a bow with everybody huggy kissy, kind of. I guess that kind of was a big spoiler, but there's some other twists. So that's not a complete spoiler. And then finally, nobody really likes watching older people, like really old people, kiss and talk about intimate relationships. I'm just saying. Let me give you some tips for parents. Kids are definitely going to be bored because it's a bunch of old people. There is some mild profanity, but again, there are some crude conversations. Two of the old women get high smoking a joint, and that's supposed to be hilarious. And I just thought it was stupid. There's talk of a Tata towel. If you know what tatas are, the comment is keep them high, keep them dry. And most women will laugh and be able to relate, but everyone else, I think, is going to be kind of grossed out by that imagery. So there were some themes that were illustrated well in the movie. And of course, one is aging, another is change, accepting change gracefully. Others are love, friendship, trust, and forgiveness. So I always write down funny lines and interesting lines to share them with you so you can kind of get a feel for the film itself. And I include all of them on my written review at moviereviewmom.com. So you can check them out there. But I'll share a couple of them with you right now. One that I just thought was really funny was Ellen Bernstein's character is coming into this senior retirement center home for the first time. And the manager of the facility is giving a tour. And he says, "Oh, well, do you work out?" And her daughter says, she burns most of her calories rolling her eyes. And she and her mother are very similar at the beginning of the movie, a little hard-hearted and crusty and that kind of thing. And then there's this running gag with Christopher Lloyd and how he has a toupee. And Jane Curtin's character is always referring to it and calls it something different every time. And so this one moment, she's talking to one of the other characters who's kind of flirting with him. Not kind of, she's full on flirting. Anyway, she says, "Are you flirting with that guy with the squirrel on his head?" And then later she refers to it as a muskrat. And anyway, it's just kind of cute. I thought that was a delightful part of the humor. And then I wrote down a bunch of interesting lines because Ellen Bernstein's character loves to quote famous people, and she does it with her grandson as she's trying to teach him important lessons. And so I have a bunch of those lines, but they're by people like Nelson Mandela, not the characters in the movie. So one of the characters in the movie's name is Janet Poindexter, played by Jane Curtin, and she says encore means again. And so she refers to the life that they're all living in this retirement home as an encore, that they're not done living, that they can still enjoy life. All right, so the movie is not going to win any awards. It's not the greatest film ever made, and it's got some problems. But I think if you're older, you'll probably get a kick out of it, especially if you're a woman. But ultimately, my movie review mom grade is a C. So let me give you some recommendations for some other movies that are very similar Also not fantastic movies, but kind of on the same par. The first one that came to my mind is a movie called Palms, where a later in life woman is able to kind of live one of her bucket list items. So it's kind of cute. And then another one recently came out called Senior Moment. And that is also kind of cute. It has William Shatner starring in that film. All right, that's it for my review. I hope if you watch this movie, you get a kick out of it. Thank you all for your support. And thank you especially for those of you who are going over to Patreon to check out the gifts and the things that I have to thank you for your support there. All right, have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.